can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, no, it's definitely is.
Yeah, it was. I think earlier when I was trying to fix it, I changed the settings for the speaker as well. So your sound was coming out somewhere else, so I couldn't hear it. I don't know where
Yes.
that is or why it even exists, why the settings exist if I can't hear you. But yeah, but yeah, it's definitely fixed now. And I actually found
Yeah.
out because I think the problems with the audio and everything earlier, even the picture
hmm
last week, it had to do with the Droid cam that I installed on the thing on the laptop and my phone. So I was trying
Yeah.
to, yeah, that other time, the few weeks back ago
hmm
when I had that issue, I tried to use my phone as the webcam. So I still had that installed. So I think it was messing with the Zoom settings. I had to uninstall
Yeah.
it now when before I
hmm
rebooted the computer. So yeah, now we seem to be back. I don't know if anything else is going to go wrong next week or with our next recording, but we'll sort it out then.
uyakanga. Then you forget the things that you were doing. Because what you were doing, ukanga, when you're interested in things, right, you always play around.
Yeah.
That's what I do as well. That's why I know what you're talking about. I play around with things. That's like, no, did I change that? So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no mocha, and then so much. You don't know how to go back and get things back
Exactly.
to what they're supposed to be. Yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah.
happened. But yeah, the good thing is that it is now fixed, and we are ready
And you
to
know
go.
what to do next time should you play around. You know where
Yeah,
to go.
yeah, yeah. Definitely. Now I know where to go next time. But yeah, anyway,
Okay.
how are you doing, Z?
I'm okay, man. I'm all good. How are you doing?
Now I'm all right. I'm all right. It's been almost 2 weeks now. Actually, yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
2 weeks because we didn't record anything last week. But we're back today. And let me tell you, we are actually we have a backlog of interviews waiting for us to do. I was hoping that we'd actually be able to do this one today. It was supposed to be with Nuzudi, but I told you about it over the weekend.
hmm
But now it
hmm
actually gives us a bit more time to prepare for her. But she's on her way from Joburg to back to Mpumalanga today.
hmm
Yeah, yeah, I think she's still on her way right now because we were talking a bit earlier. But anyway, it's
Yeah.
it's okay. Yeah, it's okay because even though there's a backlog, but it's a good thing.
We'll
It's a
get
good
to
thing
it.
because
It's a good
somewhere,
thing. It
yeah,
is.
yeah, somewhere in between it, we'll be able to catch a break. So yeah, we'll see how everything happens. Yeah. So anyway, actually, because I mean, we started this year a bit slow. Uh,
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah, a few hiccups here and there. Started a bit
hmm
slow, but I think we're going to pick up. We have to actually pick
Guys,
up the pace a little
the year
bit.
just started on Monday. You see the
Yeah,
year. It just started yesterday.
yeah, yeah.
I
It's still
don't
the
care if
year.
this is what the year started yesterday.
Yeah,
Everything before that was just a trial run, the practice run. Are you gonna make it? But
yeah.
now you're in it. Now you're into it.
Yeah, and I was looking at some of our past episodes. I can't really find exactly I can't remember because I was supposed to actually, I think, what do you call this? I was supposed to jot this down when we uploaded our very first episode. Yeah, but it's almost a year now. And let me see if I can actually find this thing. It's almost a year since our first episode, obviously, was the introduction.
hmm
It was in this month, actually. Yeah, on the 20th of April.
It was, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I uploaded that one on the 20th of April. So almost a year, 12 months into the
literally.
oracles. Yeah, even though we didn't have a name at first, we started off without a
We
name.
didn't.
But
Well, good. Well, good. Wow, we just didn't have a
yeah.
name, but here we are now.
Yeah, yeah, it's something that had to be done. We just had to get started, and the
Yeah,
name caught up with us along the way.
got up.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, so in the midst of everything, of the past interviews that we did recently, there's a lot of stories that we missed. One of which, okay, we never talked about did we talk about the Kosatich, uh, Kosatich's passing? I don't think we talked.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
We didn't.
Yeah, so we're not going to go back there. It's done. Yeah, I'm not keen on talking
Yeah,
about
I can't.
it.
Yeah, no, we're moving on,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
But another story that we missed, I think this happened in December with Skhanda World basically breaking up, KO and Mai breaking up. Mai, I think it's just Biggie,
Really?
and yeah, so
That's news to me.
really,
Yes.
I actually have the what do you call it, the press release somewhere. Yeah,
And I
uh,
listen to them a lot. There's like I really enjoy Iskandar. But also I think on is it Forecast 23 where he was speaking about how, excuse my French, back reunion for Itiekes, right?
yeah,
But he was saying it more towards the other
jokes.
guy, not my yeah, Untugza, because Untugza is the one who's just been,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in Untugza, but I think that's what he was speaking to, not to my per se, because those two do get along. So I think they might have broken up musically, but other than that, they're still brothers. I'd like to believe.
Yeah. But Inkabi actually also released this track a couple of weeks.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't that great. And I
I
feel like
mean, I
yeah,
mean, I
and,
mean,
and I feel like it's something that he shouldn't have done. He should have just let it
yeah,
go. And KO say whatever it is that he says. I mean, KO right now is one of the big is yeah, he is one of the biggest hip hop artists currently, one of the biggest
yes,
musicians in the country at the
yeah.
moment.
And not
So
just currently, I feel like all time, KO has always been nice.
yeah,
Even from TKS, people remember KO versus, So KO has been consistent. He's one of the biggest
yeah.
acts in the country, honestly.
Yeah, and it's almost 20 years, and he's
Yeah.
remained consistent. Every time anything from KO comes out, it's always a hit. But yeah, I feel like Dogs shouldn't have responded. He should have just let
Mm.
it go. Or rather, if he was to respond, he should have responded in a different way and not through a rap song because no, shouldn't have done that. But yeah, anyway,
He's a cheated.
yeah,
He's a cheated, just move on.
yeah,
Or send a Facebook post because rapping I don't think it's as strong as,
yeah.
But hey, maybe he
It's
thinks that he can, but
yeah, yeah. Anyway, the statement from Skhanda World was actually on the 27th of February this year.
mhm.
So the headline is Skhanda World and Universal Music, a South Africa public announcement to all media and stakeholders. Okay, it says this is a public announcement to all media platforms and stakeholders. Skhanda World, in partnership with Universal Music South Africa, has mutually agreed to part ways with the following artists: Mai, Just Biggie, and DJ Mr. X. This announcement comes after the joint record labels have met and mutually agreed with the artists that they are to be relieved of their contractual commitments to the labels. The joint labels sincerely appreciate all the work that Mai, Just Baby, and DJ Mr. X have contributed to the local music industry throughout the years that they have been signed to the joint venture. We would like to wish all of the above mentioned artists nothing but immense success in their respective careers. May they continue to spread their wings and exceed the limitations of the sky. All media inquiries and communications to my Just Begin DJ Mr. X will not be affiliated with this kind of world or Universal Music South Africa. They can be directed to the artists or their respective management. The world will continue to serve the industry with music, and you can surely expect new releases from artists affiliated with the label soon. Sincerely, Skhanda World and UMG.
So are they bringing in new artists or are they just dismantling the whole thing?
So, as I understand it, if I understand this correctly, Skhanda World belongs to, or rather belongs to KO and Mai.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
the founding members. So what
Mm-hmm.
happened? I think this is what happened: is that KO and Mai they decided they're not going to work together. I don't know if there's any bad blood or any beef there that's going on. I
Mm-hmm.
hope
Mm-hmm.
not, but I hope it's just a mutual agreement to no longer work together.
Yeah.
Because they're not able to fulfill whatever it is that they want to fulfill together. So I think Mai and KO decided to part ways also financially. I think KO probably bought out Mai from Skhanda World. And because Just Baby and DJ Mr. X, they are basically Mai's artists, they're basically collateral damage. So I feel like KO probably felt that he won't be able to work with them, or maybe they decided you take these guys and you go and start your own thing, and then KO remains. Who were the other guys who are part of Skhanda World? I think it's two guys.
Wasn't Mosley a part of Skhanda World at some point, or was she just the Skhanda Queen for the name?
No, that was in the earlier days. In earlier days when Skhanda World just started.
So she was part of it initially.
Yeah, she was initially, and then she left. She's one of the artists that left much earlier. Because now this Skhanda World that we know today is basically a rebrand of what it was earlier. Because remember when it started, there were all those guys for AP Crazy and all these other artists, they all left. And it was just KO and Mai that was left, and then just James X and everybody else that's that was recently part of Skhanda World. They joined recently, besides KO and Mai, obviously. But that's essentially what happened. And because Skhanda World is actually signed to Universal, I think Universal now felt that they cannot handle both artists, KO and Mai. So Universal decided that we're actually going to let Mai go as well with the two other guys. And now it's just KO. Skhanda World is still part of Universal, but Mai, just Mr. X no longer there anymore.
And I don't know how I feel about that, because honestly, I'm a huge DJ Mr. X fan, right? And I just feel like he has a lot of potential, And I felt like being with KO was one of the best things he could have done for himself. Because if there's one thing about KO, right, is, I feel like in this country, there are a lot of people who move up by affiliations, right?
Yeah.
And not necessarily after hard work or the consistency. And I feel like if there's one thing KO has gotten right throughout the years, it's giving us work. I mean, KO can give you a body of work without the push, and the numbers will speak for itself,
Yeah.
Because I saw the same thing with the song Asande by Mr. X.
Yeah.
It literally, they dropped the song. It's a beautiful sounding song. It didn't need any promo. It didn't need people hyping it and whatnot. But then the more you listen to it, even from literally the first listen, you could feel a KO touch, even if it was just like, I have an idea for this, or here are my 2 words or my 2 lines. There's that thing that I feel like it was rubbing off on the guys from KO.
Yeah.
But I just hope moving forward, you can find somebody like that, but they were a good fit with KO.
Yeah. KO is basically a kingmaker in rap music and hip hop. And that's how a lot of people actually are able to make it. That's why we're able to see a lot of people. It's through affiliation. Affiliation is very important in entertainment. If you roll with a certain group of people, or you roll with a specific person, your chances of success are very, very likely. But there's also the danger, if that person gets blacklisted, you might also be collateral damage with them, as we've seen with as we're seeing with what has happened with DJ Mr. X and Just Big, because Mai is no longer part of Skhanda World. Those 2 guys, because they're basically Mai's artists, they also had to go. But hopefully they find something. I mean, with today, as long as these guys can actually get good producers to work with, because I feel like Mai, lyrically, he's good. He's all right.
Mai is one of my favorite rappers in this country. Like, I really rate Mai highly. Like, and like people don't hear Mai. Mai is a good rapper, guys. I rate him so highly as well.
Yeah,
it's good producers, and they still continue to focus. They'll still make it, man. They'll still pop.
Yeah, they'll still be fun. I feel like if they can get good producers put together a good enough project together, they'll be able to find a home other than Universal. I mean, there's other labels like Sony, bunch of other labels that they can go to. But yeah, hopefully it'll work out for the best of them, and they just keep working.
I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do, man. Separately, I like as individuals, as with record labels, with other producers. I'm looking forward to that. One thing about me, I support a lot of South African hip hop artists
Yeah,
because I feel like there's a lot of potential, man. And as long as people, I think for me that's the biggest thing. I just want people to work together.
yeah, yeah.
This thing of you see how I'm a piano cats do it. I'm a piano cats don't mind being they might not be friends, but when it
Yeah,
comes to being in the studio and working, they're gonna work.
yeah,
And then with hip hop artists, I feel like most of them are focused on being friends or pretending or putting it out there that they're good people, when they're actually not. So I feel like if they can just keep it tight, man, as an industry, as a fraternity, keep it tight, and there's a lot of good things that will come out.
yeah. That's true. That's true. I mean, a lot can be done by these guys. But that thing that you're talking about, when you compare Amapiano to hip hop, the affiliation and how basically the community that they built, I feel like the Amapiano guys are able to work together very well right now because it's pretty much a new thing for most of them. For most of
Yeah,
the
no, for a
artists,
lot, yeah,
it's
it is.
it's a new thing. So everyone is still trying to, or at least over the last 2 or so years, they've been trying to get some skin in the game, and they're just having fun because it's just kids. It's mostly kids in this genre.
Yeah, no,
But
they are like really.
yeah, but when it comes to hip hop has been around for 50 years this year. And with the South African hip hop, because we've now taken so much from the American culture, where we
Yeah.
understand it to be about clicks and we understand it to be about basically about clicks, about who you with, who you work with. So that thing
Mm.
has pretty much impeded a lot of progress and a lot of success. And it's similar
Mm.
to the tweet that I sent out a bit, I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago, even though it's not really the same thing. But you and now understand that there's a lot of great vocalists in South Africa, female vocalists rather, or female rappers as well. And a lot of artists, because we know, obviously,
Yeah.
for females, for women generally in music, it's a very hard place to be. It's a very dangerous place to be. Because no matter how great you are,
Mm-hmm.
if you come in and you want to work with someone, the chances are they're going to ask for special favors before they
Yes.
put you on their project or whatever. And that thing,
Yeah.
it doesn't only affect the women's careers only, but it also affects the guys' careers as well, because they're letting go of a great feature, a great body of work, or
Yeah.
rather just even just one song. They're letting all of that get away from them, just for one moment that is going to flee and mean nothing the following day. So they're basically giving away, they're trading um, a fruitful career for something that actually it means a lot because
Mm.
we're spiritual people, and this affects it affects everyone, not only just their careers, but also affects them
Yeah.
spiritually and emotionally, and physically as well. So it is quite something, but it's not worth giving up your entire career for, basically, because a lot of guys' careers have stalled simply because they wouldn't work with
They
certain
said no.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
they basically said no because the woman said no to something else.
Yeah.
And I feel like if a lot of that, basically every guy in the industry, if they would just put all of that aside and say, look, work is work. Let us just work.
That's work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you say no to anything else, that's fine. But let's just work and carry on with our lives. And that shouldn't be a barrier that they put up
It
because it's unnecessary.
is. Honestly, it's really necessary. And it's also with how we've discussed payola before. Like a
Yeah,
lot of people's careers don't kick off because it's either one, they have morals and they don't want to pay payola,
yeah,
or they can't afford it. And because of that, poor guys still getting paid on their local radio stations. And even with those ones, that's where they end up because some radio stations don't have that reach that can get you into bigger and national radio stations. So there's a lot of things in the industry that hinder the growth. And I think I don't necessarily like comparing ourselves. But me, I don't like comparing ourselves to Americans, right?
Yeah.
But there are times where I'm either on TikTok or Instagram or just on Spotify, and there are artists that I don't know. And I'm like, when you go to their pages or their profiles, you see how massive they are in their country.
Yeah.
Like these people are actually highly rated, whether they're from Nashville, Tennessee, or they're from a small town somewhere, but they are highly rated because people just love them for their work.
Yeah.
And they start quitting it, they start making it big. And I'm just like, can we just also do that with our artists? As I think another thing that brought me to this point, I was listening to side D earlier, that got Duncan with Zagwe, right? The joint project. So listening to Duncan's part. And there's a part where he said Uzagwe wanted Duncan to pop, right?
Yeah.
And I think the two other guys that Zagwe used to work with, I forgot their names. They were like, Duncan is too hot, but then
Yeah.
and that is true. Like literally, that is true. Because if it wasn't for Tirati, like, no, I like this boy, tell him to come to the studio, he can lace it up. The radio station was not necessarily going to give him a chance because he raps. And there's one thing I say about Africans that either don't appreciate that or our radio stations don't want to play that. And that was the only reason they was keeping him back. Not that he can't rap, not that he doesn't have the reach, but because he's too hardcore for radio.
Yeah.
And not because he was cursing or anything, but because he was genuinely rapping.
Yeah.
There are a lot of hindrances, man, when it comes to people's careers.
Yeah, our industry is not big enough for us to close doors for other people, because there are people who feel like, okay, the South African music industry is very small. There's aren't as many radio stations as you would find in the US or in the UK or wherever. So they feel like they want to hoard that. But then at the same time, by hoarding that radio space for themselves, they are opening it up for international artists to come in, and they're closing it. They're closing down other artists who are trying to make it, who would be very good, who are actually very good already. It's just that they don't have the platform. They're not given the platform on radio to be played. But another thing for me, even though I work in radio, right, but I feel like there's much more for musicians than radio. Radio is an okay marketing strategy. It's not like it used to be before there were streaming platforms, before there was the internet, where being played on radio was a huge thing. Right now, being played on radio is okay. It's just a thing, because a lot of people want their music played on radio. But I can tell you that on radio, your song can be playlisted, and it will play somewhere in the middle between maybe let's say three songs play back to back. Your song will be played maybe second. And if it's played second, it's played in the middle, the presenter is not going to mention it. They're probably just going to mention the song that's going to play next, and they're going to mention the song that played last. But your song's probably not going to be mentioned. It's just something that people are going to hear, and then it passes like it's nothing. However, with the way that the internet is set up today, and this is how we were able to find people like Elijah the Floor, how we were able to find Jazz Carriers, how we were able to find Hype. They use the internet. These guys use the internet to as best as they can with all the resources that they have. Today, you don't need a lot of camera work to do a music video. If you have a decent, if you have a decent iPhone or a Samsung, if your phone has a decent camera, you can you can have your own music video, and it doesn't have to have all these people involved or have all these props and wherever you want to shoot. You can shoot it like in one area, one place, and it can be done very, very quickly, and it can be done very well. It all just comes down to the editing. Put that up on YouTube. Put it up on social media. All kinds of social media. People are all going to see it. Someone is eventually going to see it. And this is one thing also, even though it's a bit different with Nuzudi, that we'll be talking to her very, very soon. She'll tell you that she's receiving more recognition internationally than she is here in South Africa. And and that's just crazy.
And I picked it up as well. Yeah, I saw even her features, the recognition, the awards, and top 10 or top 1, your top 50s, literally all internationally acclaimed, and it's all thing, man. But
yeah, and a lot of people do not know her in South Africa. There's people like Jürgen Blackrock, for instance. And she stays, I think, in the Netherlands, but she's South African. I think she was born in Cape Town or something. She was on Kendrick Lamar's soundtrack for the first Black Panther movie. There is what's her name? The Indian girl, something Pillay. She was on the NWA on Dr. Dre's NWA soundtrack. Or is it? Yeah, on the Compton soundtrack. She was on Genocide. So a lot of artists, they do, even though I understand also that it's also a natural thing for some artists. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, you're just never going to get the recognition that you are going to get in your own country. You're going to be seen elsewhere. And that's because of the sound, it's because of however it is that you do music. And sometimes it's because that's where your journey is. You are doing music because you're supposed to do music, and God has planned for you to be an international artist, not just a South African artist. So you're going to get recognition outside, and South Africans are going to catch up eventually. When you probably get like a huge award, got nominated for a huge award, and then now we want to claim you back again and say, oh, actually, she's South African. That's the journey.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the journey for some people, and that's okay as well. So, I mean, we can't really know everyone. It would be crazy for us to know everyone and recognize everyone.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just about an artist finding their path, doing the music as best as they can, and then God will take care of the rest.
Not sure. You know, when the more you think about the internet and how powerful it is, I'm just thinking about how there's so many artists that we've all literally were introduced to via the internet and how good they were. And also touching on Inkabi's video, right, that you don't need insane technology to do a video. I just thought back to who's this Lenrose. The first time I saw Lenrose, it was a video on TikTok where he was rapping. You see what they call the South African national anthem.
Yeah.
That song of his, where he's actually rapping in all 11 languages, right? And he's just walking. Literally, he's just walking like us, and he's rapping from Afrikaans to Xhosa, from Xhosa to Ponga, to Venda, to Zulu, like everything. The quality is insane.
Yeah.
Not only of the audio, but of the visuals as well. Then the lyricism is on point. I feel like that's the day that a lot of South Africans are like, who is this kid and why have you been sleeping on him? And I'm also like, at times it's not necessarily sleeping. There's just that one thing that needs to happen for you.
Yeah.
Or that one song that needs to make you pop. And that's what did it for him.
Yeah.
That's because of the power of social media.
Yeah, and you think about, I like to make an example of Kendrick Lamar, because he's my favorite rapper. He first did the Kendrick Lamar EP. I think that was in 2009. He released Overly Dedicated. I think that was in 2010. And he released Section 80. I think that was in 2011, whatever. That used to be projects, pretty solid projects that he released. But it was only when he did Good Kid, Mad City that everyone eventually got to know him. And also for his breakthrough, it could have taken longer, I think. I believe it could have taken longer, but it was actually J. Cole who introduced Kendrick to Dr. Dre. He's the one that told Dr. Dre about Kendrick Lamar. And I suppose Dr. Dre listened to his music and decided that actually this is someone that I decided. Yeah. And from there, everything is history. And imagine this, that J. Cole had access to Dr. Dre already before J. Cole was even famous, before we were able to know him. And this was around 2011 or whatever. Okay, and he was kind of famous, but he wasn't as famous as he is today.
Big, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't as big as he is today. But yeah, for some people, it's that someone is going to hear you eventually, and even if they're not going to sign you themselves, they're going to bring you to someone that is going to take you somewhere. Yeah, and sometimes it's just one song. I mean, a music compiler you might hear your song on the streaming platform somewhere, and then decide to actually, you know what, this is what I want. This is fits with the sound that we are going for as a station.
Yeah.
They put you on there, put you on other music compilers. Now you're being played nationally or whatever. So it's just one thing. Yeah, it's just one song that might take you to places, to everywhere you want to go.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of artists are working so hard for. I mean, who's this girl now who's been trending on social media? Bianca, who says that people's song. I think it's big now. So many people want to feature on it. And when you look back, she's been making music. But that one song is the song that caught up, you know?
Yeah.
Even the other girl, the show, something when she who sings Survivor. She's been making music. Only that one song caught up. So I feel like that's what a lot of artists do. They're just trying to get that one song.
Yeah.
And what's funny for me is it's never the song they thought it was going to be. Like I've seen multiple times when listen to someone talk, like this is not the song I thought it was gonna be for me. I put it out because I was like, let me put it out. It's nice. Or my producer liked it. But the one that I initially wanted to pop didn't even pop, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, people like what they like, you know? It's just put your music out there and people will gravitate towards your sound if they meant to gravitate towards it.
Yeah, and make use of all the resources, man. Make use of the internet. Don't just chase music channels, radio stations. Make use of the internet. Today, the world that we live in today, the internet is your best friend as a musician. That is where, and with the internet, you're able to reach pretty much anyone across the globe. Yeah, you're going to be able to reach just about anyone across the globe because, and I like TikTok, especially with the way that it works, because you don't necessarily have to be following people to see their videos. You can just go into the For You page, scroll through there, and based on the kind of videos that you normally watch, that's what you're going to see. So for some people who actually love music, they might come across your music or whatever, just on the For You page, and from there it's just going to take off. All right. Z, do you have anything else that you would love for us to talk about?
I just saw something earlier actually. Okay, I want to speak about Java's tour, the Isubugo tour, right?
Yeah.
But then I just saw something else. Who's this? Kwesta is having they call it the 16th bar concert at Carnival City on the 12th of August. Yeah. And the fact that he's had 16 years in the game is what took me back. I think also what brought up is when you were mentioning how KO probably has like close to 2 decades in the game.
Yeah.
And now when Kwesta said I've been rapping for 16 years, I've been in the game for 16 years, it low-key makes sense because I've been listening to him over 10 years ago and I'm just like, guys, time flies when the music is nice.
When Java's celebrating 16 years in music.
Literally, he's celebrating 16 because he's calling it the 16th bar on the 12th of August, which makes sense because let me see the exact thing that he posted on Instagram. But it does make sense because I remember I've been listening to Kwesta since I was in high school and I've been out of high school for 10 years now.
Yeah.
It's like, actually, it makes sense, you know? Because I remember I knew Kwesta way then, like when I was still, I think in grade 8, if not 9, I could be wrong, but around there. What's Kwesta's name on Instagram? I forgot. But yeah, it's on the 12th of August. So I'm just like, so Kwesta's been in the game for over 15 years.
Okay, with Kwesta, I understand because I think I was also in high school when he first released some of his songs. When I first heard some of his songs, but with Java, because now I'm trying to calculate. If it's 16 years this year, that means it's been around.
Not Java, Kwesta.
Oh, Kwesta.
Java was
Oh,
acting 16 years ago. No,
was
Java
Java-
was acting 16 years ago.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay,
No,
now
I was
I
saying Kwesta,
understand.
not Java.
Yeah, because now I understand. I was trying to calculate like if this Java was around for 16 years, means that he's been making music since 2017, 2007, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Definitely.
since it's Kwesta, yeah, with Kwesta,
No,
then
he was still on what do you call the show?
Zone 14.
Zone 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was still acting. He wasn't doing music yet. The person who was making music was Kwesta when he was still going to Mashko YFM,
Yeah.
doing that whole Chili M bar that he gave us. He was still rapping. So Kwesta has been at it like that. Maybe Java has been as well, but then we didn't know him. You know how people have been writing since they were like 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
don't know
No,
if he was, but
yeah, no, then I pretty much understand because I think I remember Kwesta from back then. I mean, 2007 I was what grade 10. That's wow, pretty old. But it's been a while. Yeah. It's been a while.
I think that's my thing. I'm like, guys, Badala, and it's crazy because how did we get here? That's why I'm like, maybe that's why I can't relate to the music that the Latinos listen to. Because it's like, it's loud. Internet dance, guys, is done well. And I'm just like, no. But that's one, I think I was just taken aback, man. I just didn't realize that he's been in the game for so long. I think that's what made me be like, actually, I think I want to go to the concert. Because I want to go to the Shava. Shava is next month. And, in a month from now, actually on the 6th.
Yeah.
The one in Gauteng. Then Kwesta is in Carnival City on the 12th of August. So the one still has some time. So they can fill it up. I believe they can fill it up.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to. I don't know if I'll be able to make the Shava one, but hopefully with Quest I'll be able to make it that one. And also another thing, since we are also talking about Shava, we didn't talk about his album, this move. I don't know if you've listened to the whole thing, but I'm sure you've listened to the whole thing multiple times already. Yeah. I know that you've listened to it multiple times already. Do you have any favorite songs on there?
Yeah, I have a few actually. I don't have one. I have a few. And no, yeah. One thing about this is because all of them they start with the A.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no need. Literally, if you listen to them, I like them. I was on my case, right? I like Amavaga. I like Amapingo. I like Amangleva. Already 4 songs. And
yeah.
4 songs. Then the other one that I also like is Grounding. I love Grounding a lot. I like EPs as well. Like, because one thing about Shava, I'm a fan of consistency, you know? And personally, he's given that, honestly. From Isinamu, I was listening to Isinamu the other day. I'm like, this song had bangers, you know?
Yeah.
And I was listening to Mhlele as well, because I will listen to Shava. And that thing has amazing songs. And now there's even with Umpago, the EP, Umpago was amazing.
Yeah.
You know? And I also like how he explained Umpago when he dropped it. He's like, well, abantu basabambisa basendleleni to the album, you know?
Yeah.
Now Umpago bambisa. And I was like, that's such a great idea, you know? And we enjoyed it. And it made us look forward to this one here. And it dropped this and it literally did what it was supposed to do. For me personally, I love it.
Yeah.
I was in the weekend.
Yeah, because I'll listen to it also a couple of times. And the thing about me is that normally listen to an album and I don't take notice of the title of the tracks.
The title,
especially when I really properly enjoy a song. For me to actually know which songs that I like the most, when I play back, I have to make a point to actually pick up my phone or look at the screen to see which song it is. But for me, time is definitely my favorite one on there. Amavaga is also great. EPC and Peace as well, both of those songs. Basically, they both basically have the same title. It's just 2 different languages, or rather two different spellings. I don't know if it's a different language or a different spelling, but it's basically the same thing. EPC and Peace as well. which are totally beautiful. And I like actually Peace being the last track on the
same.
on the album, because basically closing off the album, and also I feel like he was also talking to us, his fans, the listeners. Peace be with you until the next album. You know, it's been a great journey going through this entire album, the time that we spent together listening to this album, and then peace be with you until the next one. I feel like that's basically what he's saying, even though basically, even though the message also is just talking about his friends and whatnot. But yeah, it's a beautiful album. I love it, and also I'm looking forward to his joint album with Big Zulu. I don't know if you've heard their song as well. What's the name of the song?
Are you asking me if I've heard about the song?
Yeah.
Me?
Oh man.
I definitely heard the song.
And actually,
you know what the problem with those two now?
Yeah.
And the thing is, people always think as the supporters we bias, but I'm just like, we genuinely not. They make sure that they deliver all the time.
Yeah.
Mbamba is a beautiful song. Yes, they might not have the same kind of sounds in the entire album.
Yeah.
But it's genuinely a beautiful song. It's liked by kids who don't have an idea what it means. It's liked by people who understand what it means, and by our parents. It's such a wholesome song. I love it. And to show that it's a good song, not only is it number one on streaming platforms, because the young ones are there, right? Yeah. But even on radio, it's literally number one.
Yeah, it is. And actually, now that you mentioned all the different kinds of people that love it, is that these two guys basically, they are somewhat rewriting some of the songs that you would sing at weddings. Someone tweeted recently that we no longer have new songs that we sing at weddings. Always the same songs that have been sung for ages. Now, when you listen to Inkabi, it's something that it's the kind of song that you can actually play at a wedding.
Yeah.
It's a song that even if there's no sound or whatever, if everyone knows the words, it will definitely be sung sometime at a wedding.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is exactly the kind of songs that, especially Big Zulu. Big Zulu is as big of a guy as he is. He's very soft, man. Emotionally, he's an emotional guy, and you can pretty much hear it in his music. Not that he would actually go to Ngampapel and because Tagbega passed, but
I feel like they both are, man. They generally what I feel like a lot of Zulu men are. A lot of Zulu men come across as this hard exterior, because Zulu men are always that. But when you get to know them, you're like, when you marshmallow, and you can hear it from the lyrics. Stava loves love. You can hear it literally from Mr. Namu.
Yeah.
Every song that he makes about love, you can see he's deep within Java feels, My mom basically wouldn't suspect that.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
You're thinking, nah, it's just, but then when you listen to them make music about Utando, it's like that, and actually they tap into that,
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, and as a duo, they call themselves Inkabi Zezwe. They already released like that single, which is a beautiful song. I'm looking forward to the album as a whole, because I actually did like a photo shoot specifically for this album, for the rollout of the album, and they're both wearing the same clothes on there. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to see, or rather to hearing what they give to us. Another guy from KwaZulu that people haven't taken notice of is Zezwe. He released a single, I think last month or something, called S2. It's before his single too.
Yeah.
And he was going off on everybody. It's basically 150 bars. As Zagwe version of it's 150 bars. Yeah. But the thing is, no one is paying attention to it. No one has responded to it, which is disappointing, really. I feel like it's very, very disappointing, especially when you consider the amount of work that they actually put into this thing, into the single. You consider the amount of love and respect that Zezwe has for for rap and for hip hop.
everyone.
Yeah, because this time around, I expected guys like Peter Paul to actually respond because he mentioned them in there, but no one has said anything.
And Zagwe raps rap. Zagwe is one of my favorite rappers in the country.
Yeah,
I'll honestly take that to the grave with me. Zagwe raps. And one thing about me, I enjoy people who rap, you know?
yeah,
Give me rap. That's why I'm a Kwesta fan. That's why I'm a Stogi Tiki fan. That's why I'm a big Zulu fan. Like, I just want people to rap, you know? And
yeah,
Zagwe does that. Like,
yeah. It does that, even though
it's like it does it effortlessly.
yeah, even though I need to get like hold of the lyrics, to actually read everything that it says there because it's so much Zulu and so proper Zulu that it's difficult for me to keep up to keep up with everything that is saying.
So
But,
you know, I just say right now, it's how a lot of people have been complaining since Umbambai dropped, right?
yeah.
Like, yo, guys, I said, Lana Sastin, what am I saying here? What does it mean about saying this? I'm like, just listen to the song. You will hear what they mean. You will literally, if you listen to Shaba, you know,
Yeah.
if you listen to things, you understand. They're not that deep on the song. I'm not gonna lie. I've heard them go deep. I've heard Shaba on some. I'm just like to my mom, Mama, Abole, Namang Sayas, you know.
Yeah.
But on Numbambai, I feel like they were not as hectic on Numbambai. But I think that's one thing I also like about music. Guys, the music makes people unite.
Yeah.
There are certain songs that I love that I have no idea what they mean, but I make sure that I try and find out what they mean.
Yeah.
And I've seen people right now jamming to Umbambai like they are Zulu, you know.
Yeah.
Deep from what you call Polokwane, people are generally enjoying Umbambai because of like the power of music.
Yeah, music is that powerful. Music is that powerful because you can give us a German song right now, and if it's beautifully written and beautifully produced, we're going to eventually we're going to be able to connect with the song. You know, even though we don't fully understand what is being said, eventually you'll be able to connect with what is being said, which is very interesting when you actually think about it. But it's also that's the cool thing about music, that it knows no barriers, basically. It really knows no barriers. Good music is good music, regardless of the language that it is done in.
Yeah. And only good music will last, man. I think that's my thing forever. I always say this and I will stand by it. Only good music will last.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's unfair.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Azia, I don't know if do you have anything else that you would like to talk about?
I mean, I'm good. I just wanted to say, as one thing about AKA's company, it's not necessarily my type of vibe. Maybe that's why I'm so big on the song, because that's not the type of vibe I go to when I listen to music, especially from people I knew that used to rap, you know, and Kenan used to rap.
Yeah.
But I love company. Like, I generally love company. Lemon's Lemonade, they're rapping. Obviously, I love it.
Yeah.
But company, it makes me feel good, man. It's like my feel good song. If I feel down, I'm just like, there's that song.
Yeah. You know, I'm still preparing a set for this weekend because I have to play somewhere on Sunday. And every time with all of my sets, every time if it's hip hop, if it's rap music, an AKA song has to be there. And I've been cracking my head trying to find a song other than Company to put on there. And I really can't find anything else. Like, Company is that song. I've been listening to, I've listened to the album, I don't know how many times, because I thought about Mbuzi. Mbuzi is also fine, but it's not quite there.
No, it's fire.
Yeah.
No, it's fire. I think one thing I've noticed about our supporters in this country, we like feel good, especially when we're out and about, right?
Yeah.
You can play Mbuzi. Mbuzi is fire, but it's only Z and a few other people who are gonna rap. You know, because they know the song like that. You can play Anxiety, only Z and a few other people who rap like that. But play Company, the entire crowd is gonna sing along.
Yeah,
play Lemons to Lemonade, everyone is gonna do the hook. You know.
Yeah. That's the thing, because Mbuzi, it's fine for a certain crowd. Like, if I was in Joburg, in maybe a club or something, and I play Mbuzi, definitely people are going to love it. But with Company, with where I'll be playing on Sunday, Company is the song that everyone is going to love. over Mbuzi. And like again, Mass Country, beautiful album, beautiful, beautiful first track, opening track. Is it Last Time? I think the name of the track. There's Mbuzi. I love also because
it's still my favorite song from the album. Actually, the first time I heard it, I was like, "What is going on here?" When I was working, I'm typing. I'm like, okay, this is going. This is nice.
Yeah.
I had to go back to when you're working, but if I'm not looking at my laptop or my phone, I literally had to go to my Spotify, see what song is playing. I'm like, I'm definitely repeating this stuff. And before I move on, I think I played it like 3 times before I moved on. I'm like, this is a beautiful song. That's what I'm saying. It's like my favorite song of the album. I see Company. Lemonade is up there because Nasty Sweet. But I mean, it's a beautiful album. I'm not going to lie. I really like the album.
Yeah, Spawn is also a very beautiful song as well. Yeah, that hook by Java. I don't know if it's a hook or it's a bridge or whatever it is that he does on there. It's very, very beautiful. Yeah, but yeah, overall, the Mass Country again, maybe the biggest rap album that is going to come out this year. That'll be out this year. Yeah, and I also saw that it's got 6 nominations at the Metro Awards. Yeah. 6 nominations at the Metro FM Awards, which is pretty cool because it'll be happening right here in Bombela on the 6th of May. Yeah, so I'll be there somewhere. I'll be there somewhere.
As in like the 6th of May next week, in a month.
Yeah, in a month. It's coming.
Yes, what is going on? I feel like I'm just out of touch with everything. I knew the matches were coming up because I do listen to radio now and I just didn't know about the date. So everything's so soon. Damn.
Yeah. I mean, the rollout has started, I think, late last year, if I'm not mistaken. In December.
Last year?
Yeah, I think so.
It can't be. No, it can't be.
Yeah.
I listen to Metro every day, and I literally only started hearing. I swear, I only started hearing about it last month, sometime. Not even beginning of the month. I think mid-month, and I always listen to Metro. I never heard of Lentuzan. So in December, they were pushing the heat wave. Jan, there was just it's school holidays, kids are home, not pushing anything. So I'm saying I'm shocked that they start rolling it out last year.
Actually, no, I think it started in January.
Maybe on social media they did, but on the radio I don't remember because I listen to Metro daily.
Yeah, probably definitely heavy on social media because they did the announcements at the capital in Bombela, at the hotel. That's where they made the announcement with the Department of Culture, Sports and Recreation and all of that. And on social media, they've definitely been pushing it. I haven't been listening to a lot of Metro recently.
No, I need to go back to Twitter. Clearly,
yeah, and it's actually safe now. It's safe to go back to Twitter. I don't know about Instagram, but Twitter is definitely not my safe.
IG is my vibe, man. Instagram is my vibe. Yes, you will see one post here for people you don't follow, but it's not as bad as Twitter. I have control over my Instagram. I really have control over my Instagram. That's why I'm always doing most of the time. Twitter has been my time. Honestly, I am content. I'm not gonna lie. I'm okay. I feel like I'll just continue reading the news from Google and not just whatever I see on Instagram, just follow the link and read on Google. But I'll see if time goes on. But for now, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know. Just moving away from music. I don't know if you know this, but SABC has a streaming platform. It's called SABC Plus, I think. You can just register. I think it's free. You can just register and log in there. So if you're like me, because we actually cancelled our DSTV subscription, so we don't have any kind of TV apart from streaming platforms and YouTube and all of that. So SABC Plus, you can pretty much, because while I was waiting for you actually, I was also registering at the same time. And I checked out that Izo is also there. I think all 3 seasons. So I wonder what else is there. I hope School is nice.
They need to add intersection for the Latinos. Yo, hi.
It's not just for the Latinos. It's for everyone.
For everyone, because I feel like people have forgotten. Yeah, I feel like A quick reminder, wake up call, guys, because people are moving wild.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone needs to see that. Everyone needs to see that because I think you've forgotten. I mean, for us, we were saved mainly by those,
I see Home
adverts.
Affairs.
Yeah.
Honestly, I see boys use of Home Affairs, but intersections needs to come back.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Even though I never actually watched it, I could never watch it. But yeah, the people who need to see it have to see it, so that they can fully understand and appreciate the dangers that they're putting themselves in. But yeah, anyway, that is done. That was just a little piece of information just to let you know about the SABC.
Now I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
Hopefully,
can I find Skim someday?
It should be there. I mean, if they have user, it should be there.
I believe in Skim Sam. See me. That's the only thing I watch on TV. I don't know what's happening on TV. When I'm watching live, when I want 161, I don't know anything. But Skim Sam,
yeah,
I know what's happening on Skim Sam.
Concerning Skim Sam, I've never really been fully interested in it, because and it's mainly because I don't really watch a lot of TV anyway. But I'm a nostalgic guy. Like I pretty much love nostalgia. So as I came across a video some weeks ago on TikTok, someone uploaded like the first episode of at least a clip of the first episode. Skim Sam. And so now I'm very interested to actually go back and watch from the beginning to see how everything was and how everyone looked when the whole thing started. But I'm also interested to see if Isindimo is there. Watch the match.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I'd definitely watch that. I'd definitely watch that actually.
Yeah. But anyway, there's that. Just a little bit of little piece of information from there. I don't have anything else. I don't know if you have anything else.
Nah, man, I'm good. I feel like I covered everything I want to cover. I'm all good.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So we might have a very, very jam-packed couple of days, but I'll let you know because definitely we have at least 3 interviews that are basically confirmed. And then there's one that I need to make contact with. One person I need to make contact with, and there's also another one that I need to follow up on. I spoke to his manager. I don't want to reveal any names as yet. You'll know.
Not yet.
You'll know when the time has come. But anyway, but there's that. So, but for us, the oracles, we'll be back again next week. Remember to subscribe. Remember to share. Remember to do everything. Like our episodes. There's a lot. Great things are coming. And you do not want to miss anything. You don't want to miss a single moment of what we have planned.
Definitely. So next week, guys.
Yeah. Cheers. See you there.